In a small, sun-dappled village, nestled among sprawling bamboo trees and rolling savannas, Kwame was born into a world where every day was a struggle against poverty. His family, though rich in love and tradition, had little in material wealth. Growing up, Kwame attended the village school, a humble hut with mud walls and thatched roof, and learned lessons not just from books, but also from the rhythms of nature and the wisdom of his elders. Despite his limitation, he possessed an insatiable curiosity and unyielding determination to rise above his circumstance. Every morning, before dawn, Kwame would help his family tend to the small patch of land they cultivated. He dreamed of a future where he could use his hands and heart to create something more, to honor the sacrifices of his parents and uplift his community. That dream led him to bid farewell to his family one fateful day with nothing but a few belongings, a heart full of hope, and an unspoken promise of a better life waiting beyond the horizon. The city was a cacophony of sounds, colors, and relentless energy, a stark contrast to the peaceful rhythm of village life. The towering buildings and bustling markets both intimidated and inspired Kwame. Here, he sought to learn a trade that would open the doors to a new destiny. His destination was the renowned workshop of Master Yeboah, a craftsman known far and wide for his exquisite wood carving and intricate metal work. Despite his poverty and lack of formal education, Kwame was determined to master the craft. Master Yeboah, a stern man with piercing eyes and a reputation for exacting perfection, took Kwame under his wing. Every day, from early hours of morning until the last glow of twilight, Kwame labored in the workshop. He swept the floors, carried heavy logs of wood, and slowly, with painstaking diligence, began to learn the delicate act of carving. With each chisel stroke, his skill sharpened. Yet, as the month turns into years, an undercurrent of injustice began to reveal itself. Master Yeboah, while applauding Kwame's hard work in public, secretly pocketed more than his fair share of the earnings and rarely offered a kind word or a token of gratitude. As Kwame's proficiency grew, so did his responsibilities. He became the backbone of the workshop, the silent force behind each masterpiece that left Master Yeboah's stall. However, the recognition and rewards that should have accompanied his skills were conspicuously absent. When a prominent commission arrived, a delicate order from a high-ranking official, Kwame's contributions were acknowledged only as an unseen laborer, while Master Yeboah claimed all the credit and profit. The unfairness festered within him. Kwame's heart grew heavy with both pride in his work and the bitter taste of exploitation. Yet, he maintained his diligence and integrity, believing that true talent and honest effort would eventually be recognized. The city, with all its promises and pitfalls, had taught him that sometimes virtue must endure hardship before it is rewarded. One fateful afternoon, as the workshop bustled with activity, preparing for an important client, a dramatic confrontation unfolded. The head of the workshop's board, a formidable figure known as Mr. Adu, suddenly stormed into the workshop. His voice boomed through the air as he accused Kwame of misappropriating materials and tampering with his finished works. Accusations unfounded and sharp as broken glass filled the room. I have seen discrepancies in the records, and your actions suggest you have been pilfering from us. Mr. Adu declared, his eyes narrowing with suspicions. In a moment that shocked everyone, including Kwame, Mr. Adu ordered him to leave the workshop immediately. "You are no longer welcome here," he said coldly, dismissing Kwame's protests and pleas of innocence. It became clear that Mr. Adu's accusations were not born out of genuine concern for the business, but rather were fueled by a mixed jealousy and a desire to please Mr. Yeboah, who had long whispered behind closed doors about Kwame's supposed shortcomings. Humiliated and heartbroken, Kwame left the workshop with nothing but the clothes on his back and the bitter sting of injustice in his soul. As days turned into weeks, Kwame wandered the bustling streets of the city, burdened by the injustice and betrayal he had suffered. The city, which had once seemed full of promise, now appeared indifferent in his plight. He took on odd jobs, cleaning market stalls, carrying goods, and doing manual labor to make ends meet. Though his dreams of mastering his trade were now clouded by misfortune, Kwame's unwavering determination refused to be extinguished. One humid afternoon, as he was helping unload crates at a busy market, a distinguished gentleman in a finely tailored attire approached him. This was Mr. Mensah, a prominent businessman, known for his keen eye for talent and integrity. Noticing the careful way Kwame handled the crates and the subtle grace in his movements, despite the evident hardship, Mr. Mensah engaged him in conversation. "You move with a purpose, young man," Mr. Mensah remarked kindly. "I have heard whispers of your exceptional craftsmanship coming from Master Yeboah's workshop. Tell me, do you have a name?" "Kwame, sir," he replied softly, still wary of offering his story to a stranger. Intrigued, Mr. Mensah inquired further, and slowly Kwame recounted his journey, the long hours in the workshop, the lessons learned through hardship, and the injustice he had endured at the hands of his master and Mr. Adu. Moved by Kwame's honesty and resilience, Mr. Mensah offered him an opportunity that would change the course of his life. "Your story and your talent deserves a fair chance to shine," Mr. Mensah said. "I would like to help you start your own small workshop. Trust me, your skill is a treasure, and it should not be hidden in the shadows." With Mr. Mensah's investment and guidance, Kwame began to rebuild his life. He found a modest space on a busy street, a workshop of his own where he could carve designs and create. The early days were fraught with challenges, acquiring the necessary tools, learning the business side of the trade, and overcoming lingering doubts seeded by his past exploitation. Yet, every setback only steeled his resolve. Kwame worked day and night, pouring every ounce of passion and determination into his craft. His unique style, a fusion of traditional African motifs and innovative designs, began to attract attention. Orders came in from local merchants, art collectors, and even tourists who were captivated by the authenticity and so embedded in his creation. Slowly but steadily, Kwame's small workshop grew into a bustling enterprise. While Kwame's star was on the rise, the tides of fate were shining back in the city. Rumors of Master Yeboah's misdeed, once whispered in dark corners, began to surface. It turned out that his unscrupulous practices, embezzling funds, falsifying records, and even forging clients' signatures were eventually discovered by city authorities. One cold rainy evening, Mr. Yeboah sat in his opulent yet deceitful office. A team of inspectors arrived. In a dramatic reversal of fortune, he was arrested on charges of fraud and exploitation. The news spread like wildfire, and even those who had once admired his craftsmanship were appalled by his moral corruption. The punishment was swift and severe. Master Yeboah was sentenced to repay the defrauded sums and serve a long term behind bars, a fate that was seen by many as a manifestation of his comic justice. His fall from grace served as a stark reminder that exploitation and deceit rarely go unpunished. Back in the heart of the city, Mr. Adu, the one who had falsely accused Kwame and hastily dismissed him, was also scrutinized by his role in the injustice. Though he had acted under the influence of greed and jealousy, his name too became tarnished. Public opinion against him and his reputation, much like Master Yeboah, was irreparable and damaged. The echoes of their misdeed served as a cautionary tale in the city of Corridor and the Powers. Kwame's journey from the shadow of exploitation to the success which he became was very inspiring to many. His workshop flourished into a renowned establishment, and his designs began to grace galleries, and exhibitions began across the region. Through sheer perseverance and kindness of a stranger, he transformed his pain into a powerful legacy of art, integrity, and hope. Yet, despite his newfound wealth and recognition, Kwame humbled himself. He often visited his village, sharing his knowledge and investing in local education and infrastructures. He believed no one should be left behind due to circumstances of birth, and he worked tirelessly to create opportunities for other young dreamers. At one memorable exhibition in the city, as admirers marveled at his latest collection, Kwame took a moment to reflect on his journey. In his eyes shone the wisdom of hardship and the joy of triumph. He knew that every trial he had faced had forged him into the resilient man he was today, a man who had transformed injustice into an enduring legacy of hope. The unpredictable twist of fate and ultimately paved way for Kwame's success. The unjust dismissal by Mr. Adu and the exploitation of Mr. Yeboah had seemed like insurmountable obstacle at the time, yet they were the very crunches in which his character and talents were refined. In the end, fortune smiled upon him, not because he sought revenge or harbored bitterness, but because he chose to work hard, remain true to his values, and seize every opportunity for growth. Kwame's story is a testament to the enduring power of resilience, honesty, and the belief that even in the face of injustice, a kind heart and unwavering determination can ultimately transform one's destiny. His rise from a poor, uneducated young man in a humble village to a celebrated artisan and a successful entrepreneur in the city is a narrative that continues to inspire many across the land, a vivid reminder that every setback can be the seed of a magnificent comeback.